Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking the video. It means a lot that you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And today we're talking about who will win Survivor 44. It sounds simple, but I think there's a lot of factors here. There's, their jury chances, their edit, their gameplay. I think there's a lot that goes into someone like actually having a shot to win the game, because a lot of times people kind of get X'd out pretty early on based on an edit or a strategy. And so in this video, I'm going to go through and give about 4 or 5 people who I feel like have an actual shot to win. Okay, the first person that I'm going to talk about here is Gathew, which for those who don't know is the gay Matthew. Not the Matt who's in a showmance, but the other Matthew. The Matthew who bragged about preparing for a puzzle, which by the way was his only stupid move in this entire season. He's played fantastic strategy-wise. I mean, he literally, I think, basically created a new strategy of not voting at the first tribal as to not reveal where your loyalties lie. It's very, very genius, at least to me. And so I think he definitely has the strategy down. As far as edit, his edit was great. In the first episode, he was pretty much our biggest character, aside from maybe Brandon, but that's because the strategy kind of revolved around Brandon in that episode with Maddie going home. And then as far as his like arc or his story, it's definitely there as well. So I think he really does have it all here, with him being like a not trying to have a midlife crisis and then he climbs up the rock. It's a great winner moment. I could totally see that being part of his quote-unquote winner's edit. So he's definitely there for sure. The next person who I think has a decent shot here is actually Yam Yam. So obviously we haven't gotten any ridiculous strategy like we have for Gathew from Yam Yam, but what we have gotten is a story and a steady character. I mean, he's in like the quote-unquote crazy group, but he's nowhere near as crazy as Carolyn. He's shown to be smart, and when they came to him with just an easy vote and someone who like basically is his main ally, instead of taking the bait, voting her out, and then now he's the next target on that tribe, now he flips with her and Carson, and he's in complete control of that tribe. He's going nowhere, at least until post-merge. So I think he has a great edit going for him. I think his story is good enough to be a quote-unquote winner story. So he has the strategy and the edit. And I think overall, especially with them having it being like a quote-unquote emotional season, it's a very inspirational. I think Yam Yam would fit that mold really, really well. Another person that I have is actually Danny Massa. So to me, Danny Massa is almost a little bit too good to be true. His edit's been squeaky clean so far. He's the New York fighter. It feels like that Tom Westman, almost too good to be true winner edit where he's just perfect, right? He's edited to be this perfect guy. But at the same time, he's in a great spot strategically on his tribe, with the showmance just on his tribe sitting there waiting to be voted out. And then on top of that, of course, he has a villain on his tribe in Claire, who's kind of just waiting to go as far as the edit is concerned. So I really do think that he's in a great spot, and his edit's been great. We've been shown that he's kind of going to be a big hero of the season. The issue really does come with just how perfect his edit is. Like, people who start out that perfect don't always win. It's very, not rare, but it's not as common to see the person with like the quote-unquote perfect edit winning the season. It's a little bit too easy to predict, and so production will usually kind of hide them, not kind of blast them out there like they are with Danny. The next entry that I actually have on this list, it's kind of funny. It's 2 people. It's Matt and Franny. So although this may surprise you guys because they're in a bad spot on their tribe, as we haven't really seen any other obvious threats to go, like there is no people who are being targeted. Now, my prediction is that it's going to be Josh who gets targeted on their tribe. But then again, it's a hot take because we literally have not heard a word from Josh. But that's partly why I think it's the case. Josh has gotten no edit, and maybe it's because he doesn't really, add any importance to the season because he goes home early. But we'll see. But back to this, I really do feel like Matt and Franny are both getting big edits here relative to the situation. They did not need to give them basically 2 full scenes to show that they're couples. And I think one of them, I think, is going to have a great shot to go far in the game and possibly win. They both have the winner's edit. The only reason that I lean towards Franny is just because she seems like the better player on paper. But then again, Franny seems like she is kind of at a higher risk here to go out pre-merge because they see her as that better player. So I'm curious to see who will reap the, benefits of being in a couple here. Is it Matt or Franny? Who is going to get punished pre-merge for being in this couple, or is it neither and we get both at the verge? And the last entry, and the one that I'll probably spend the most time on, is Carolyn. I really am torn on Carolyn. So in most seasons, the person who gets the biggest edit does not win the game. That's just kind of textbook edgic. I'm not really a big edgic guy, but like that's just common sense. If the person with the biggest edit wins the season every single season, it'd be way too easy to predict. But there are some seasons where this happens, especially if it's a giant character. Think Cochrane, think Tony, and really both of his seasons. These big characters can sometimes just need to be on the screen. No matter if they win, get seventh place, merge boot, it doesn't matter. There are just some giant characters who need to be there. And I do think in this case, if Carolyn had won, it would not be shocking because of the fact that, at the trailer for Survivor 43 for this season, they're like, this is a very inspirational season, which to me really hints that production likes the winner and their arc. So when I think inspirational, I think of maybe the straight Matt or possibly Carson, but the person that comes to mind, of course, is the recovered drug addict, the person with probably the best story on the entire season in Carolyn. She has the biggest edit so far, the biggest story, and although it may be kind of controversial to say that I think she could win the game because she is so ridiculously crazy, I do think it's not ridiculous to say on a purely fact level, she's gotten a great edit, she's in a great spot in the game as far as strategy goes, which is more important to me. She was in big trouble, and for some reason Carson flips over. I think it's partly because Sarah lost her vote, and apparently Carson may have known. We didn't see it, but I'm guessing he did, and that may have caused it. So it's not really because of her own doing, but nonetheless, it's very simple. She's in a great spot on her tribe, and she's basically guaranteed merge here unless something goes crazily wrong. I also think she's probably guaranteed to, at the very worst, like a 9th place exit. I think that's the worst with her edit. It's just such a good edit. It's such a full edit, and it's showing that she's probably going to have a full season arc and be the biggest character of the season. So with that edit, I think the worst that she can be is a giant blind side at like final 9 or 8. I think the best, obviously, is that she's the winner. I think she would be interesting to watch with a jury. I don't think she'd do very well, but if she's with other goats or maybe some robots who just don't have it in any emotion or like human skills, I think she could really speak her heart at Final Tribal. But it's all up in the air. I really have no idea. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. As always, none of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, I'm just a weird guy speaking to a weird microphone. That's what I'll talk to you guys in the next one.